to organizational success. Please come and maybe as a leader integrating spiritual sciences with business, how do you believe practices like mindfulness can help organizations and business today?
Good afternoon all. Thank you for patiently listening to each one of us. I know this is a time which is the most difficult time of the day. This is time we want to sleep, we want to rest, we don't want to do too much of intellectual stuff. So I can understand how heavy this is for you right now, and thank you so much for allowing yourself to take this burden today. Thank you, Kavita, for introducing me. I will just take about 10 minutes more to maybe 3 minutes more to introduce myself. It is important because today I'm standing here in front of you, talking to you about something which is very new. I do understand culturally, as a part of our society, we have experienced it every time and again, but as a part of business innovation and strategy, it might just come across as a very new concept. The reason today I stand in front of you because I've myself had a journey of over 3 decades. I have worked with corporates, I have held senior leadership positions, I have headed innovation, research, I'm a design thinking expert, I'm an Ikigai coach, I have trained many CEOs, many organizations in understanding how they can have a good health within the organization and even outside the organization. And this journey of mine over the last 3 decades also brought me to something called spirituality. Now to me, spirituality is not about chanting mantra, getting up in the morning or doing something that you do when you retire. To me, spirituality is a process that helps you in moving from a certain frequency of your existence, a frequency at which you're vibrating without even knowing that you're vibrating, to a frequency where you can actually sit down and breathe and say, wow, life feels so good. I'm happy, I'm healthy, I have love in my life, I have richness, I have been able to achieve everything, and I feel so complete. How many of you at this stage of life feel complete? 360 degrees, please tell me, be very honest. Personal, professional, social, all aspects. Please do raise your hands. How many of you feel complete? My friend Colonel Mullen for sure, because he's special. He has served India and I feel so proud to be connected to him. He's a great singer, so I'm sure you're going to close the day with some lovely songs. We are around 26 January. We must honor him, sure. So on your tables, there is a little pamphlet or a leaflet or a brochure, whatever you want to call, is kept. Right? I don't want to sell this program. I want you to open the page. On the right hand side, you got a table. And in this table, I've got for the guests also. Please take it, help yourself so you'll understand what I'm talking about. Now, if you look at the left side of this matrix, the colorful table, it says name of the level. Second column is energetic frequency. Third is the emotional state you're going to experience when you are at that level, at that frequency. And fourth shows your view of life. Most of us, in fact, almost all of us, for the maximum part of our life, choose to be knowingly, unknowingly, willingly, unwillingly in first stage. That's door number 1. 20 hertz to 175 hertz frequency. I just had 2 gentlemen speak about money. They handle money, they handle all the energies of money, and money is a powerful energy. Money has a negative energy and money has a positive energy. And all of us sitting here, of course, whether we are startups or well-established business, or even some of you are not business owners, money is an important thing. Money takes all our attention, right? Money is a thought that never leaves us. Money is a constant thought. 20,000 times in a day we breathe, money is there. So it is a powerful energy. But if you've got these emotions attached to your money, shame, fear, 20 hertz, guilt, 40, 30 hertz, apathy, grief, fear, greed, desire. If these are the emotions, if these are the feelings that are attached to money, or every time you think about money, and one of these emotions are experienced by you, a lot of people experience. I'm a startup owner myself. I decided to move out of the corporate. I was working as a dean for a university, and that's when I realized that I needed to look into education in a different way and offer something which is the truest of education. So I started my own institute called Ajanta Vihara Institute of Spiritual Sciences, because spirituality is the highest of the science. So if you look at these emotions, and if these emotions are the emotions you are experiencing, or you are transferring these emotions to your team members, the one that is there in door number one, if this is what is the constant discussion, if this is what your people are bringing to you, if this is what you are experiencing with your clients, if this is what you're experiencing yourself while sitting down and trying to innovate new strategy for your business's growth, trust me, your input is going to be 100, your output is going to be not even 1%, 2%, or 3%, or even if you're able to give the output, after a point you will reach a saturation. And most of you would have experienced that. We are all about energy, vibration, frequency. Let's try to understand that. The intention that you set for your business, I want my business to become this in a year's time. Your strategic plan, your perspective plan, whatever you call it. When you put an intention to have a certain perspective for your business, that I want my business to go from A to L, that's your intention. That is the energy that you're holding on to. And if you're going to have any emotion between 20 to 175 hertz, you will only attract other energy fields which are vibrating at that frequency, or energy fields which will ensure that you stay at that frequency. I have a lot of people who sit in front of me, from the top-notch industrialists of India to very powerful political leaders, to financial experts, to startups, to housewives, to teachers, to people who have retired. I have been blessed to travel through their journeys, and trust me, everywhere where I've found people getting attached to certain kind of energy, or allowing themselves to be at a certain frequency, they experience struggles, sufferings, they experience certain patterns being repeated. So if you as a startup and a business are asking, what is the innovation that I can do for myself so my business grows in money, in name, in fame, I get that power, I get the goodwill, I have sustainability, I have profit that is sustainable. We go through such fluctuations, and I think all of you would understand that the fluctuations that businesses are seeing today, small, big, are huge. We live in an uncertain world. World has changed drastically. So it is very, very important to look into innovations that are not just product based, that are not just services based, that is not just tangible. We need to look beyond it. We need to look into the health of the organization. We need to look into the emotional health of the organization, the intellectual health of the organization. We need to look into the mental health. And if you turn to the cover page, I have shown here 8 dimensions of health. 8 dimensions of health of a human being, 8 dimensions of health of any organization. If your organization is facing a lot of attrition, people don't stay. Your organization is vibrating at a frequency of 60 hertz. There is a lot of lack of trust. Your employees are not experiencing intrinsic motivation, feeling the joy to work. Because trust is compromised, because somewhere either you don't trust them or they're fearful all the time of losing the job, losing their salaries, company going into loss. One of the biggest reasons for attrition is fear. Fear of rejection, fear of judgment, fear of shame, fear of abandonment within the organization. So culture is very important, and just getting them to do some fancy exercises, or getting them to do meditation, getting them to do yoga, getting them to walk on the coal, burning coal, getting them to dance with some psychic, getting them to sing, or just rewarding them with trophies and certificates is not going to hold them. And then we as employers feel really betrayed. We have done so much, but our employees are not staying back. The employees are not staying back not because you're lacking in action, but because you're not sending the right vibration. You are not vibrating at the right frequency to have a culture that says, trust me, I'm home. And that is the reason, in spite of spending so much of money, efforts, taking loan to run the organization, working so hard, 20 hours in a day, we still are not able to make enough profit, hold on to our teams, feel happy, feel relaxed. We just feel so disrupted, everything is scattered. We are still running on day-to-day cycle. And that's the reason most of the organizations, most of the startups shut down within the 8 years, run into major losses. Because the focus is on earning the money. The focus should be on having a healthy relationship with money. I have a lot of people with whom, of course, organizations and CEOs, I sit down with them and I say, okay, why don't we look at money circle to understand, what kind of relationship, what kind of frequency you and your team are into as far as money is concerned, profit is concerned. And you will be surprised that hardly anybody goes to door 3. Hardly anybody is able to move to door 3. Lot of employers, I'm a startup owner, as I said, and I've been in senior leadership position. One of the approach we take is build pressure, create pressure. In appraisal, create pressure. With budgets, create pressure. Keep them on a deadline pressure, keep them on a money pressure. These are some of the most negative energies which is going to really bring you down and not take you up. You might wish to be there, and that's a good thing, but you'll not be able to, because your actions are not aligned to your thoughts and intentions. Your intention is your energy, your thoughts are your vibration, and every day 20 into minimum 4, 20,000 times you're breathing into minimum 4 thoughts per breath. 80,000 to a lakh of thoughts you're generating every day and storing in your frontal lobe. That is a vibration. Frequency is going to be your action. If your intentions, thoughts and actions are not aligned, no matter what you try, you will be in a disruptive energy dynamics with yourself, with your organization. If this is a bottle and it has water in it, I'm going to say this is a bottle of water. I'm not going to say this is water. Your team is like the water inside. The value, these health, the 8 dimensions of health that you're providing to them is the safe bottle structure outside. You put them in a bowl, they'll be like a bowl. You put them in a bottle, they're going to be like a bottle. You put them in another container, they're going to be like another container. All of you must be well versed with something called SWOT, right? I'm sure. How many of you know what a SWOT is? Strength, weakness, opportunity, threat. Most of the organizations let their employees, I'm sure you all are aware of SWOT. I do something called meta SWOT with organizations. And we bring these things out. For example, if you look at the cover, you got intellectual wellness, you got your physical wellness, you got social wellness, and you got emotional wellness. Now these are your strengths and weaknesses. Your strengths and weaknesses come from there. No matter how you dress a man, his value system is the one that's going to bring his personality out. It's the same way with organization. You can dress up your organization the way you want to, but if you do not have good intellectual wellness, you don't have good emotional health, you don't have good social health, you don't have good intellectual health and emotional, it's not going to be good. Your culture is not going to be good. Your employees will not perform even to 20% of their potential. You will not perform. You'll be exhausted, tired, worried, angry, and at some point you'll give up. You'll end up taking a lot of loans because it's all about energy. Everything is about energy. There's so much of information available today. I'll give you one little story. About 7-8 years back in California, they had done one experiment. What they did, they realized that that particular town had very high crime rate, crime against the elderly, children and the women of the society, like really very, very bad kind of crime. Now they didn't know what to do. They had tried everything and nothing was working out. So they decided to get about 10,000 of the monks there, and these monks kept chanting for 40 days. Just chanting. Nobody knew about them, nobody was aware about them, nobody was asked to participate with them, they were just sending vibration. After 40 days, they recorded the crime rate, it had dropped by 60%. That is the powerful of thought, that is the powerful of vibration. So it is time to go inward. It is time to build that intrinsic motivation within your organization. It is time for you to look at the health of your organization, which is not visible to you, but which is very crucial to your growth, extremely important to your growth. And that is one thing that we have neglected. We are today trying to adopt, trying to follow so many Western philosophy without realizing that Indians, by default, vibrate at a very unique frequency. Indians, by default, are very high in their emotional quotient. Indians by default are more resilient than their Western counterpart because culturally and socially we are spiritually driven, constructed. How can we ignore that in our organizations? How can we say it doesn't matter, jo budde ho jayenge to karenge? Spirituality is a process that is going to help you move from that 20 hertz frequency that your organization currently is stuck in to at least 310, 450, 600 frequency. 600 frequency, nobody can stop you from becoming successful. And I have success stories to tell, trust me. I stand here today with full confidence, knowing that this works. This really works. But you got to set the intention. You have to understand, not block yourself towards something that is focusing on the emotional health of your organization, that is focusing on the emotional health of your relationship with money, with success, with fame. It is a call all of you have to take. You can make your struggle less or more. You can make your journey enjoyable, or you can make your journey full of thorns and struggle. It is entirely your choice, and trust me, shift will happen. Shift will happen if you want the shift to happen. Go through this. Understand it's a very simple leaflet that I'm leaving with you. At the back end, there is also an exercise for all of you. Please do attend this exercise and ask your team members to attend this exercise. All that you need to do, whatever you are right now having, for example, you are angry, you're frustrated, put a red dot there. If you're a happy person, put a green dot there. And then if there is something that others feel about you, put an orange dot. You don't feel you're an angry person, but your secretary feels, your team member feels, put a dot there. Make each team member do this exercise, and trust me, once you put all these sheets in front of you and you tally it to what frequency you are, you will be shocked and surprised where you stand. And maybe that reality check is needed for all of us. If your organization, in terms of emotions, in terms of expression, in terms of its culture, is vibrating between 20 to 175 hertz frequency, you might carry great dreams. But those will come with a lot of difficulty, or those might not come to you. And each of us is capable of really experiencing the most abundant reality. Right? When we spoke about Mr. Tata, when he passed over, what people spoke about Mr. Tata everywhere. What a beautiful work culture. How empathetic. What a wonderful organization to work with. He looked after his people. He cared for them. Right? That is the vibration that he was vibrating from the very beginning. Maybe for some of you it's not a right example, but you can be there too. We can be there too. So please do this exercise. If you want to know more, you can connect with me. All that I can say to you is, if you want to understand how your thoughts are manifesting your reality, think about the health issues you're carrying. Think about problems that are still with you, you're not being able to solve. Do you have blood pressure? If yes, you are holding on to your expression. Cancer, I treat a lot of cancer patients, and I've had a good success. Cancer, suppressed anger and neglect. If you're having constipation, childhood trauma. Balding, lot of unnecessary procrastination about yourself. You have a lack of self-worth. Liver, gallbladder stones, fatty liver, liver cirrhosis. You carry deep sense of lack. You feel you are privileged, entitled, but you're not getting enough. Migraine, you have very low self-worth as the gender you are. Most of the men, you won't believe, once they start reaching their retirement age, do you know what is the one health condition that most of them face? High BP, right? Cholesterol and prostate. Prostate issues, prostate cancer. Do you know why? Because fear takes over. I'm going to lose my position, my stability in the society. Prostate represents manhood. Prostate represents that. Fear frequency. You drop at that. So, same way with women, a lot of women face a lot of issues after delivery. Why? Because suddenly there is an identity shift, identity crisis. From being this one person who knew who she was, suddenly she's got thousands and thousands of people telling her who she is. Identity crisis. So you got polycystic, you got tumor, you get breast cancer, every sickness, every health condition, every hair fall, every eyesight, every ear problem, anything that you're going through, you tell me and I will tell you why it's happening to you. That in itself is telling you what frequency you are at and why there's a need to change it. So just wanted to bring this little bit. You want to know more? I'm here. You can ask me. You can visit our website. You can follow me on Ajanta. Vihara Instagram, I do post a lot because I am a clinical certified hypnotherapist and I am registered with IMDHA and NGH, two of the most renowned bodies in the world. So I work with people, I work with their subconscious mind, and I have seen so much of pain and trauma. And I not only work with in the personal space, I work a lot in professional space. I work with organizations, I work with teams, because as I told you, I've got design thinking and ikigai which I brought with this. So spiritual wellness is a process. It is not a product. It is a process that is going to help you get health in each of these dimensions of wellness. If you want your organization well, healthy in these 8 dimensions, then spiritual wellness is the only way forward, because you cannot stop breathing. Spiritual wellness is that breath that you need now, because world's changing, everything's changing. And the only way for you to hold on to this changing, uncertain world, where you don't know where your employee is sitting and working, could be home, could be Hawaii, could be Timbuktu, right? Could be the washroom. It's only energy, that culture, that energy is going to keep you together. Because that's when you fall in love with yourself. That's when you don't need any other validation, and a lack of validation does not make you run out of the organization, which most of the team members do. Validation मिला तब तक है, honeymoon period में बाद में भाग गए. So help each of your team members, help yourself. Fall in love with yourself so that you can go to the frequency of 450 Hz. I do have a journal which we have put together, and Nityanand has been very, very helpful. So he's showing me the watch also. So this is a 30 days exercise in case you want to do. It is an exercise for self-love. Alright, you can ask Nityanand's team, or we have kept some outside. But please start thinking. I'm here just to help you provoke that thought. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Jyoti ji, for such an enlightening verse. I think it's very important that we have very holistic approach towards health when it comes to mental health and healing energies, because once that's done,